Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you for joining me here. Happy Friday to you. We're taking a quick look once more at Solana. 170 almost right there at the point of pretty significant continuation higher. So just to kind of jump right in, we got a pretty massive overextension here. We had this price moving average range percentile notification 2 that kind of alerted me to wake up in the middle of the night and consider a short position. I didn't want to do that, but there was definitely notification that that 170 range to essentially consider pulling the price going to pull back. So it is and it has. So there's a good chance we'll sustain this range. So I don't want you to start thinking about shorting this coin just yet. But I do personally feel Bitcoin's going to pull back this weekend just because it's a Friday. We had a very profitable week. We're pretty overextended in a lot of different ways. And I think further downside does make sense now that we've swept all liquidation for Bitcoin. But let's take a quick look at the liquidation data for Solana, see what's going on there, and go from there. And please hit that like button, folks. Do that every single video. Really appreciate it. And we'll look forward to, you're on the channel together. But overall, liquidation, there's literally nothing above the price action here. So what that basically tells us, there's not a lot of people shorting, which is very good. But it also tells us there's not a lot of motivation to push the price action much higher from a manipulative standpoint, which is also kind of good when you think about it. It just implies the price is probably more likely to pull back because of that. Once more, liquidation does kind of tell us a lot. And sometimes it tells us very little, but right now, with there being nothing left at all, it kind of implies the bulls are significantly in control. We can see that here reflected on the liquidation delta. We're at about 4 billion and some change in liquidation longs, basically telling us we have $4 billion more worth of liquidation for longs that could occur versus shorts, basically implying that the bulls are in control. So when we take a look here at open interest, we can kind of see there's a little bit at 162. Next heavy concentration is at 154. And the current 172 is just above the price. So 172 may be that local resistance. It's hard to see it specifically just because it's that's a 30-day time frame, a 1 month look back. But the overall sentiment is that, what is it? The number 154, that's basically the local high. That's an area of consideration for a long. And that's kind of why I have this here as well. This is the local high from before. It's easier to see if we pull up the daily time frame. But we saw a lot of highs and lows in that area. So let's talk about this here first of all, just kind of giving some perspective of where we're at here. So we got our local high, I think that's supposed to be a little bit lower at 156. And what we're looking at here, first of all, is this potential resistance here at 185. And 185, if I recall correctly, there was just a lot of consistency there. And if you kind of look here really quick, just to note, we can see some highs here, some lows here, some highs here. There's a lot of kind of like gravitational pulls towards 185 in both directions. So just knowing that that is somewhat of an area of consideration from before, it's good to know that that might be our local high, at least tentatively. Okay, so that's kind of the concept there. But if we take a look here at the daily, we can recognize we're over 70 in the RSI. Typically not a good sign to try to short against that. Stochastic is swinging up, MACD is converging. I mean, we're going to see all sorts of convergences and awesome stuff on multiple time frames for pretty much every altcoin, because last 48 hours has just been a buy fest. Everyone's buying because Trump says to go and buy. That's pretty much it. So this is a Trump tweet fury. So not to say it's not sustainable. It's just a little premature, a little early. And a lot of folks are like, man, why aren't you sending any signals? What's going on, dude? And I'm like, well, I'm being responsible. I'm not trying to FOMO in. Technically, we do have a short trade at roughly 103,000. But at this point, I don't necessarily recommend taking longs leading into the weekend. It's mainly just a timing thing here. Normally, I'd be like, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and FOMO in a little bit. Let's take some longs as a hedge against any shorts. But for the most part right now, most coins have run up for about 36 hours straight. We've got pretty significant overextensions in the 4-hour time frames. And Bitcoin's obviously exuding that too. But the key takeaway here is that you don't generally want to short against high volume either. So while I am in a short position right now, it's only one trade. I'm not getting super crazy. And I think it's recommended maybe you consider the same thing too. Just know the whole point of me mentioning this is that weekends are notoriously red. We've seen like 90% of weekends this year so far that have been red. I'll post an update later after highlighting that. I actually haven't looked at it in a couple weeks, but for the most part, I know we're like at 15 out of 17 weekends have been red. It's a really crazy statistic. And it always opens up with a nice Thursday and Friday where everyone's super happy they're getting paid on Fridays, and they're super sad come Sunday. Okay, so just know that should be the case here, because why wouldn't it be, right? Market makers got a ton of profit. Why won't they secure that profit? It wouldn't make sense if they didn't. Let's just put it that way. But once more, these parabolic euphoric runs have a really strange tendency of going the opposite way that you expect them to go. Okay, but just know most people that FOMO in are usually the ones that are left out in the rain. Okay, at some point, I guess it depends on where you live. All right, so 4-hour time frame. quick summary, everything's bullish. There's no hidden bearish divergences or nothing stupid or crazy like that. Hourly time frame is going to reflect that we're still pretty solid too, but we've had three continuations without correction. So I don't know. It just seems like way too much for me. So once more, don't get crazy with shorts. Just know if you were to consider shorting this weekend, it wouldn't be the worst thing ever, because statistically you have a higher odds of success because of that. That's the easy way to understand it. Other than that, what I'll do is I'll post a playout chart, obviously, on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord here shortly. Be sure to check out Bitunix too, folks. Link down below for these guys. May 14th is the cutoff for this nice little deposit reward they're offering for the last 2 weeks. So it's coming up on an end here soon, but I want to say thank you again for just all those who constantly comment below and like the videos. It really helps a lot. While we haven't seen a significant uptrend, it's becoming a little bit more consistent. So your consistency helps my consistency. I really appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you though on the next one. Have a good rest of your day. Appreciate your time. Be safe out there. Take care.